What is up, Prodigy Podcast? We have our first guest here. We have Garza.
What's up, chat?
Yes, I just want you guys to know that Garza here is the new social media person for Dreas. Is it pronounced Dreas?
I call it Dre's. A lot of
Dre's?
people say that, but it's alright.
Well, I don't really be outside like that, but we got Dre's here. So, introduce yourself. What do you do?
Yes, so my name is Garza, if for anybody that obviously don't know. I'm 27 years old. I'm born and raised here in Las Vegas. And like she said, I'm the current social media coordinator at Dre's Nightclub and Beach Club. Just been like, about less than a month in, so really like just taking it all in, learning and just soaking a lot of information in. So, but yeah, I'm glad to be on this podcast. I'm honored to be on this podcast. So yeah, thank you. I'm ready to go over and talk over some stuff. I know she has it all kind of planned out, so let's run it.
So I do have a few questions here for you. Obviously, you are more experienced in the social media area than I am. This is my first year being semi-consistent, kind of just learning the loops and taking my hardships and the good parts of social media right now. So we just want to learn from you, I just want my audience to learn from someone more experienced. So my first question would be, um, let's see. What's one way you want to impact the world with what you're doing?
Impact. Well, growing up, I've struggled with a lot of confidence, and that is one thing I'm heavy on in my channel, my YouTube, my Instagram, just anything I do, I want to portray confidence and help others, not be so insecure with themselves and just overthinking. I'm really big on just pushing out like about knowing yourself, investing in yourself, and being like when I mean by confidence, I mean like, am I allowed to cuss or?
Yeah.
Okay, not giving a fuck what anybody else thinks.
Right.
You're gonna do you. You're gonna you the best, and you're gonna keep going after your goals, no matter what anybody says about you, because you don't give a fuck what they say. You don't care. You're just gonna go out and do you, do what you love, and succeed.
As you should. I do want to mention we just recently had an event, one of Keenan's events, and I resonate deeply with what you do with your content, also your branding. And did you mention your clothing brand by any chance?
No, I haven't.
Okay, yeah. Definitely put that out there, man.
I mean, I've started like it started way back. I would do like workout clothes for like my homeboys and all that with like cool, kind of corny saying at these times. But like, as I gradually evolved and got into more fashion, I wanted it to be more and more impactful. So yeah, I'm planning on bringing it back. I've been working on some pieces for spring, summertime. It's going to be under Confident Club. So really going to be pushing that and kind of just, streetwear, luxury, lifestyle aesthetic. So yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Good summer vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, we did have a recent event, and honestly, I did want to mention that because the confidence part plays a big part on me meeting you in the first place. Like the first time I ever met Garza, we were at the fashion show. It was labeled under, what was the 20? Sin City 2050, 2099. Yeah, it's been a while, guys. I think that was like 2020.
22.
22. Yeah, it's definitely been a while, and that was the first time that I met Garza. That event was the first event that I've ever had to make me kind of step out of my comfort zone, kind of just give me what it really might look like for you to be confident, or for you to embrace it. You know how they say sometimes you might not feel like it, but fake it till you make it. Sometimes that's all it takes for you to embrace it. Put that suit on, put that outfit on to make you feel like you're that person, because you can be whoever you decide to be. So I resonate with that. I love that for you, and I love that for the viewers here. I hope they continue to kind of grasp that idea that they can be confident no matter what you came up from. I come from the lowest of the lows, honestly. My apartment, look, I am pushing forward, guys. Like, I'm literally pushing forward. I just spoke to Garza not too long ago about how life be life, and it is okay to feel certain feelings, but do not sit in those feelings. It's okay to kind of come out of that and be like, you know what? I am going to be exactly who I can see myself being, because I know that that's possible, 100%. So I do have a next question for you. It's a little bit personal. It's a little bit personal. So what were some of the early challenges you faced when growing your brand, and how did you overcome them? And like with all the like personal life stuff, your job and things like that, because I know some of us work a regular 9 to 5. I do as well, and I know you work for others as well. So how is that for you?
Yeah, when I started around like getting a little taste of it in 2018. I wanted to just start recording content, kind of like documenting my cut season, which I had at the time was summer shredding, was mainly an inspiration from Christian Guzman, which is my favorite YouTuber. He's really what got me into like content creating and all that. So
Yeah,
once
you're into the fashion stuff.
yeah, so I was like, I really wanted to. That's what really caught my eye. I was just like, so like, man, I could do something like that, because at that time I'm not gonna lie, I was really at a identity crisis, because I had played sports, I played soccer, I played football my entire life. I was like, my goal at that time was, I was like, I wanted to be an athlete. You know, I wanted to be a professional athlete, and blah blah blah. I went to college. I did a semester in college, and then I came back, and then it was kind of like my life was like stagnant. I didn't know what to do. I was like not like freaking out, but I was just like, what's next? And like, you know how like your parents and people want to tell you, oh, like, you know, do the the normal thing, go to college, get a degree, and get a job. Yeah, and I don't know, just for me, school wasn't for me. I didn't like being having to always like memorize things that I didn't need to use, and so I was just learning on YouTube. I was learning on YouTube different things, watching.
University.
Yeah, I was learning so much different things, but I'm not much to like. I enjoy like researching and studying, but I'm more of like I'm more a visual and a hands-on person. So I was like, I was watching Christian Guzman record his vlogs and blah blah blah, and I'm like, okay, for me to learn that, I need to put myself in that situation to trial and error. So I would just record. I was recording like just me going to the gym, my workouts. When I would go out to like different events with friends or something, just take that advantage and practice. Kind of talking to the camera was so awkward in the beginning, but yeah, I was just like, just trial and error, being consistent. I've been doing content for the past 7 years now. I can't believe it. Like,
No, definitely.
time flies, but
Especially when you're having fun.
yeah, and I mean, and also like going back to like the parents thing, and they didn't really understand what I was doing in the beginning, which is why I kind of kept it separate from them. I would do my stuff. I didn't really talk to them about it. They would see me do it, and they, you know, obviously didn't understand. They're just like, what are you doing? Like, what is this you're doing these videos or anything? So, and I kind of like, it was something I enjoyed doing. So I was like, they always make fun of me because I have, on my resume, I have so many jobs. I have so many different jobs, because I'm just like, I was in retail, and then I was a lifeguard, and I was like, retails in different spots, and then, yeah, but it was just like, I didn't like them. Like, I was just obviously just to get money. And then once I turned 21, then I got into obviously the club ministry at Dre's, and just, you know, been there ever since. It was a journey. I mean, yeah, definitely a different. And then obviously here like comes also relationships. You know, me being in one in 2019, I was as I was like kind of still trying to figure out who I was and recording content, and that took me for a loop. Really was like, I like really consider it my canon event, because it really like transitioned me into something more. Like after that was finished, I was like, okay, I think I really needed that, because it was like probably my first relationship ever. And I was super naive, and I was super like, because I wasn't used to that. Like growing up, I had like semi-strict parents. Like they didn't let me like do a lot of things. I was just so focused on being an athlete and all that. So I really didn't get to experience that or like see that for myself. Yes, and I like trusted a lot of people and trusted that person, and it was just backfired on me. So it really just kind of took me a step back. Yeah, I took a step back and really was just okay. Let me just grind and kind of. At that time, I was like, let me get my revenge type. So
You're doing your villain arc.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, going back on your question, I mean, there's so many that like in the beginning I was like, there's a lot of other people that have a lot of like ups and downs, you know, like obviously my struggle isn't your struggle. And in the beginning I was like, man, I really don't have a struggle like some people do. But mine was more mentally. Mine was more like on myself, my insecurities that I had to deal with. Not so much hard, like obviously, yeah, I had some, you know, money problems. I had, you know, trying to find myself and my career. But I mean, you know, luckily I have a very strong family background. I have my family behind me, but more for me, it was more mental than anything.
And I feel like that's one of the biggest things.
No, yeah,
It's
like
hard.
eternally, I was it really got dark. It really got dark for me, and I was just like, yeah, I don't know what I was gonna do. But luckily, I found content, and I found, you know, the love and passion for it, and really just took the time to just work on my craft. And yeah, I know I went on, I was just yapping.
Hey, we're into it right now, and I feel like I had that problem too. Like I was doing boxing for 3 years. Some of you guys that know me know that I was doing boxing for 3 years, and I completely disappeared from the whole scene. That's also why I haven't been on social media like that. Garza has actually, he's brought me back to social media 10 times stronger, letting me know like, hey, you know, you don't want it bad enough. I swear, I've seen this one post that you had on your notes. You were like, you don't want it bad enough. I looked at that and I was like, you know what? You're fucking right. I'm like, what the hell am I doing right now? Like, I think I need to reevaluate what I'm doing. And
I mean, not to cut you off, but like I run into a lot of people. I run into a lot of people that they'll reach out to me, or they'll talk to me about doing content or being serious about content. You know what I mean? And I'm like let's get it. I'm always down to help, always down to, you know, drop knowledge or whatever tips that I can provide you from my experience. You know, obviously I'm not like there's a lot of people that have way more, but I only can go based off my experience. And one thing I'm just big on is being consistent. You gotta be consistent in your content. You can't be falling off and, you know, disappearing if you really want to take it seriously. And just a lot of people just don't have what it takes to be in this lifestyle, because if you want to be in this industry, you gotta be hands-on. You gotta be all in. And you know, a lot of people would be like, they'll take a dabble. Like there was this one creator that she really wanted to push her personal brand, and I was down. You know, she was a good friend of mine. I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's collab. And we did like a whole month of shooting. You know, I got her on a good, you know, format. We had it all planned out, and 2 weeks in, she gave up.
oh,
And I'm like,
that's crazy. 1 month that's a while. That's good.
yeah, I was like, we prepped for it, and you know, it's just unfortunate. And then you know, you just don't want it bad enough, or it's just not meant for you, and that's okay.
I feel like that's a big part of life. Like you kind of figure out what you do want and what you don't want. Like I said, when I was in boxing, I fell in love with boxing. I was probably in the hardest time of my life ever, and I was damn near homeless like twice. And so for me to be here with you right now, thank you for coming again. I do want to appreciate you for all this knowledge that you're giving, not only me, but to my audience. I was damn near homeless like twice, still boxing. Every day I showed up 5 days a week. I made sure that I put myself out there so that people knew that I was serious. And I was like, you know what, if I put this energy into making more money and to doing content, which will also make me more money, I wouldn't be struggling so bad. Like, I'm choosing to struggle right now. Like, I'm literally working so hard. I don't have to work so hard to have the life that I want to live or to have an influence, because my big thing was I would ask God, I'll be like, God, use me so that I can glorify you, so that I could glorify you through my craft, through what I'm doing, because you've given me so much grace Like, I could have been somebody's BM right now. I could have been somewhere in the streets doing drugs. I could have been anywhere right now, but instead, I'm in a room full of great people that are doing great things. They have the net worth that I want in my future. And like I said, I'm only 20, y'all. I barely know what I'm doing. My TV's on the floor, for God's sake. Like, I'm so fresh to everything. And I think that what I'm doing right now is where I'm supposed to be. But I don't feel like I wasted those 3 years, because if I didn't have the time that I took in boxing, I wouldn't have certain things now, like the people that I know, or even this apartment, because the only reason why I got this apartment was to be close to the gym. But yeah, I kind of lost myself. Like, I left the gym. I kept getting this feeling in my stomach. Like, I was like, I don't think I'm supposed to be here. Like, every day I would show up and I'll only be going through the motions. And I was like, something's wrong. Something's wrong. I'm not happy. And then I'm going on social media. I'm seeing people actually, like, happy doing what they're doing. And I'll show up to the gym. They'll be like, oh, you're just what they call that? You know how you go to the boxing gyms and they're like, oh, she just records. Like, she doesn't do any hard work. But, bro, I'm in a gym full of men. Yeah. Like, they're, like, calling me, like just for the, like, a fake boxer, basically. And so I'm in there and I'm doing exactly what the men are doing. I'm like, that is so, but like, I'm only doing content in this gym to make money so that I can stay in the gym. Yeah. Like, I don't plan on working a 9 to 5 my whole life. That is not something, as a young woman, I'm working extremely hard. My schedule is probably looking like, get off of work at 6 a.m., go to sleep, wake up at like 2:30, maybe 3 p.m., get to the gym by 5 p.m. on an electric scooter. So it took me an hour to get there, so I only have an hour. Try to make sure that you eat something before you leave. I'm at the gym. I leave the gym probably like around 6:30, 7 p.m. I come home. I'm only home for like 1 hour, maybe 30 minutes, depending on how long I stayed at the gym. And I come here and try to make sure I eat something, and then I go straight to work for another 8 hours, and it's full repeat. And so that feeling in my stomach was kind of like, something's wrong. This is backwards. I'm tired. My skin was breaking out. It was so much stress. I looked in the mirror and I'm like, bro, I don't know who you are. Like, my hair is never done. Like, this is probably the first time I had my hair done for the event in a while. And it's like, I just...
You feel good, huh?
Yeah, I did. I felt like I was where I was supposed to be at, and I felt like my purpose was being fulfilled. Like, I wasn't putting myself in a box. I feel like I've been doing that for so long now. Like, I have all these people around me telling me, like, oh, you're not working hard enough. And I'm like, bro, I'm doing what men are doing. Give me my flowers. And I'm like, if you guys aren't going to give them to me, I'm going to go and I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. And I'm going to go pursue something that people appreciate me for. And I feel like this is one of those things, like providing knowledge, providing insight on how we can grow. And even for me, I could watch this back in a few years and be like, you know what, I remember when I was struggling with this, or when we had this conversation, and now I'm surpassed that now. And that's because sometimes those conversations are meant to be had. Like, sometimes you have to talk about certain things with people that actually know or been through certain things so that you can grow past it, because we're growing. We're not always going to know everything, and please, you'll never know everything. If you go through life thinking that, oh, I know what I'm doing, life's going to hit you with something where you don't know anything. Literally, like, you're not going to know anything. You're just going to have to go with the flow, and I think that's the best part of life, man. So after boxing, man, I kind of dropped the ball low-key. Like, I was hella, like, not depressed. I think it was functional depression. Like, I was doing everything normal, showing up to work, but I was sleeping for days. Like, I was sleeping for a long time, and recently, I don't know if it was a mental breakdown or what it was, but I was crying for like 3 days straight, and I almost didn't go to that event. I almost didn't go to the event that we just had March 9th, and I would have been so hurt if I didn't go. And I just think it was me battling my own demons. Like, I feel like I'm having a metamorphosis. That's the word for it. And it's so painful. I feel like pain is really necessary.
Especially in our line of work.
Yeah, pain is really necessary, and not just physical pain. Like, I know you mentioned the gym and me being the boxer and everything. Yeah, that's necessary, but when you're going through emotional pain, you have no choice but to move out of it. You have to move out of it. That's the only way you're going to be able to move out of it, is just to feel it. Yeah. Sit down with yourself, cry about it, fight about it, be very angry about what you've done so far. And if you're not happy about it, then it's okay to feel those type of ways. Like, just sit down with yourself and be like, okay, I understand how I'm feeling right now, but what can I do to change the way that I'm experiencing life? Because it's all a perspective. I feel like us changing our perspective has brought us to a lot of different rooms, like definitely. And obviously you have content now. Me, I'm right back on the ball, especially with music. Like I'm still trying to fall in line with music. One thing I don't want to do is go to my grave and be like, I have so many gifts and so much knowledge and so much wisdom, especially as a young woman, and just not give it back to society. That's what I don't want to do. So I definitely agree with that. I agree with that. Because I did lose myself for a while. Man, like I've probably been out, yeah, it's been 3 months. 3 months since I've been out the gym. And it's still hard to this day. Like I miss them. But you got to leave the past in the past and you got to move forward. So thank you for sharing that with me. That was very, like, thank you.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of courage. Really, like, I didn't even know that you were, like, into athlete stuff. And
Oh, man, I've been doing it all. Yeah, I've been doing that my entire life since I was 3 years old.
What sport were you playing?
Well, I played soccer when my first sport, and then I kind of got a little bit older, and me and my dad, obviously we're big football fans, and we're big Cowboy fans, unfortunately.
What's your favorite soccer team?
Soccer team I was growing up was Barcelona.
I like, oh,
Yeah.
you just like me.
And it's funny because mine is Barcelona, but my dad and my brothers is Real Madrid, so we'd always have like rivalry games. Like,
I'm so big on Barcelona.
yeah, because I'm a big fan of Messi, Short Kings.
Yes.
And
Shout out to the Short Kings, though.
so yeah, and then I got to play a little bit of football when I was like, I'm gonna say like 11, 12, and then until I kind of got into middle school, and then we had to make the smart decision, and because obviously I wasn't growing like others, and shit, by middle school these kids were huge, so I was just like,
What was your position?
I played a lot of running back. Well, on offense I was running back. I got to play wide receiver, tight end, and then I was quarterback 1 year. That was cool.
That's not bad.
And then defense, I was linebacker, defensive end. I played safety. I played corner.
All that stuff sounds dangerous.
And then once that got to middle school, then my dad was like, "Yeah, we should maybe think about transitioning back to soccer, and kind of like getting back into that." So I was like, "Yeah, you're probably right. I'm tired of tackling these 6'5", 6'2" kids."
Yeah, that sounds crazy.
And so then I transitioned. I had the muscle memory for it, but in 7th grade, I tried out for the soccer team. Didn't make it. So then I tried again in 8th grade, and I got it. I just kept practicing, kind of getting that muscle memory back. And because obviously I had the speed, I had the skills, I just needed to get the coordination back again, the touch and all that.
Footwork.
Yeah, all the footwork. It took me like a year. My dad was training me hard. We were going hard. And then, I was kind of getting it in 8th grade, and then I tried out for high school in the 9th grade and didn't make it. That really kind of took me back because I was like, man, I felt like
You wanted that.
yeah, I was like, I thought it was, at least,
That's so.
I wasn't like at the level as some of the other kids yet, but I was like, just got to keep working. And then I kind of got into club that year, and that's when like I really kind of like started developing, because the club heat was really, that's like their focus was, getting the players ready, focusing on technique and footwork and all that. So that, and then I gradually, I got a college offer to go play in Wyoming. So that was a fun, I got to play for Wyoming for a semester, got to experience that. And it was, I don't regret going over there. It was a great time. I met some great people, like my roommate. The experience was amazing. And even though it was like way out of my comfort zone, because I'm like used to the city life, and where the college was just like,
Is it real?
yes, majority of it, yeah. Like it was just the campus, and then there was like rural everywhere.
Donkeys, like maybe?
No. But there were bugs. There were bugs a lot everywhere.
Like the mosquitoes.
Yeah, they were like literally. I was practicing one day, and literally there was this big, huge mosquito on me, and I kid you not. I literally saw it sucking the blood out of my arm, and I was freaked out, and I was like, whoa! Like I hit it off, and It was splattered everywhere, but it was weird. Yes, but yeah, that was definitely an experience.
Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that we don't talk about enough. Like wanting something so bad, but it's not what we really need in our life. And I feel like that's hard to take. You know, I wanted to be the big pro boxer. I wanted to be like, the next big thing in boxing. And I could have been 100%, but I would have been going against my calling in my life. And so I probably wouldn't have been happy the way that I would have been pursuing what I love. So, yeah. It's pretty good, except for the mosquito part. Yeah. Let's see. So the next question I do have is, let's see, looking ahead, how do you see yourself personal brand evolving? Well, how do you see your personal branding evolving in like the next 3 to 5 years? Like, what do you have plans on doing? Do you have any movements that you plan on seeing yourself doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great question. I mean, I'm not. I used to be one to like think super much ahead. Now I kind of taken back on that, and I feel like living more obviously in the moment, in the present, in the moment, and letting things. Because I was getting to the point where it was like stressing me out because I was like, I need to be this at this time, and blah blah blah, and it was kind of like, I'm not there yet. You know what I mean? I like my age now, at being 27, I thought I'd be 10 times ahead. Yeah. But life works in different ways, and your path is different. So it was kind of frustrating me at some point. So I kind of stopped. Obviously, I still see plans, but I don't like go too hard into it. But I do see myself, obviously being that entrepreneur and being that that person for the people to either look up to. I don't know. I've always struggled with being that role model. I don't know why. I don't know.
It's a role.
Yeah, it's a role for me, and I just feel like I don't know. I mean, before I was like, there's no way I could be a role model. Mm-hmm. This year, I'm kind of like, maybe I could be. Maybe I could be someone that someone can look up to and.
I know I do.
I appreciate that. And I see it more and more every day and every week as I drop content or as I stay consistent with my content. More and more people, show love or, tell me that, they see what I'm doing. They want to get into this or that. And I mean, that's awesome. That's one of the big reasons why I stay in content is to help one person. If one person sees my content and they're like, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go after this goal. I'm going to do what, I'm going to make my life into what I want it to be. Mm-hmm. That's good enough for me. So it's like, I know before